Well, today I'm going to look at the engine and probably do a couple things inside of the engine bay. In order to do that on the Boxster, it's actually fairly well set up for you to access it, but it's still kind of a small area to work. So what you got to do, get in the car, put the top about halfway down, or just so this thing is as far up as you can get it. And then, once that is as far up as you can get it, you can actually unhook some clips and stuff on these and push it all the way forward. I don't personally really care about that, so all I do is I unhook this little ball socket cable, which is just on a little ball down there, and then I take this little rain tray out just by pushing down on it gently, because it's plastic, and then it gives you enough room where you can get at all the clips and stuff and actually take the engine compartment apart. So these little clips, they're going to start like that. All you got to do is pull up on the front and they're 90-degree turn. And then you're going to have to start with the speaker box up here. So just lift up on the driver's side. Then on the passenger side, and it's a little hard to tell, but there's a little plug down here for the speakers. You just push both sides of it with your hand. It pulls right off. There's the clip. Then pull the speaker box out. Same goes for the back here. Of course, this one turned it back on a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and lift this out. Now, we get to the bottom here. I'm going to turn on the light for this. So just lift up these little circles, and then these are also, well, these are actually probably 180 degree. A little bit more rotation. There's 5 of these. A smart man would go to the other side of the car. There's our engine. I'm just going to pull this cover off, which is extremely warm because I drive spiritedly. And there we go. So what am I doing in here today? Well, basically, I'm going to change out this intake plenum and throttle body with a throttle body from a 996 3.6 car and a plenum from a 997 3.6 car. I've already test fitted in there, and I know it does physically fit, but the clamps weren't the right size, so I had to improvise a little bit. Where I'm also going to be replacing the intake tube that goes to the air box. Looks like that MAF is brand new, which is nice. So basically from this joint all the way to the new throttle body, I'm going to have to replace with some sweet new stuff. The air box, it's a pretty common upgrade to throw a 987 air box in there. I may delete the air box. I actually have a cold air intake for one of these things, so we'll see. I don't really know. And then, if I get really ambitious, there is a timing chain tensioner up there somewhere that I bought a replacement of, because sometimes when I hot start the car, I think I hear some chain rattle. So it's an M96. It'll probably blow up someday anyway, but I'd like to prolong its life as much as humanly possible. So I'm going to start off by loosening all 4 of these hose clamps, and then taking this 10 mil off down here, which is a brace for the throttle body, taking this hose clamp off, pushing this little electrical connector off the throttle body, and then I'm going to take the plenum out and then unbolt the throttle body from the plenum so I can reuse those bolts, and then I'll kind of show you what I got going on with the new stuff. Well, that's how we're looking. I oopsie-daisied though. I broke the oil separator hose. Even though I have taken this out before and I know pretty much what I'm doing, I don't know, it's probably okay, but I'm definitely going to at least wrap that in some rubberized tape or put some hose around it. Actually, that feels pretty good. Maybe I dodged a bullet, but here's the open space. I'm going to reuse the 2 rubber pieces here and here. And then Oh, interesting. It looks like this car has Vario RAM. I really didn't think they did. It's variable intake length geometry, whatever. It's cool. So, yeah, without further ado, here's the old combo. We reuse these rubber pieces, which actually go back on the intake manifold first. Obviously, once we take them off this old plenum here. And they stretch pretty well. You're going to be able to reuse the outer hose clamps, but not the inners. So I ordered, they're actually not Porsche hose clamps. They are, I got these from Jegs. Fast EFI G312-100, 100 to 120 millimeter. And I think the factories were 95 to 105 or something like that, so hopefully these fit. It looks like they should, but I digress. That's those. And all the way over here, we have the big throttle body, we have the plenum, and I have this aftermarket cold air intake system, which I bought because it was very inexpensive. And I figured it might have some of the necessary tubing upgrade. But you can see just how huge the plenum openings are on this 911 piece versus the size it'll fit completely inside of the old one. Same thing goes for the throttle body. So the Boxster S uses the same size throttle body as the 2.5 and 2.7 Boxster, which is tiny. I can fit that one completely inside of this one. Same electrical plug, same compatibility. I think they even run the same ECU. Yeah, step one for me is going to be pulling these 5mm Allens off. The bracket's not reusable, I don't think, because the bolt pattern changes, which is fine. And then bolt, using those bolts, the big throttle body onto the 911 piece. Remember, this vacuum port goes down into the passenger side. And then I feel like, yes, you do have to shave the back side of this piece a little bit like that to get it to clear the crossover tube. I did that last time. And then before you put it on the car, make sure you put small clamp, factory clamp, on the side that goes to the intake manifold, and then one of your big new clamps loosely over top on the inside. So you have something to tighten down once it's actually installed. So there's your side by side. What's coming out on the bottom, what's going in on the top. So this is the most elegant solution I could come up with, which is not terribly elegant. This is a 90-degree generic 3-inch silicon bend, a small piece of 3-inch aluminum intercooler tubing, a 45-degree silicon intercooler bend, which I still have to put another clamp on, and then another small 45 metal piece, and then the original airbox hose clamp, and then an original plenum hose clamp. So one more hose clamp, and then I'm going to try firing it up, and fingers crossed that it runs. Well, I'm scared. Sounds like I got a pretty big vacuum leak somewhere. All right, that's more like it. Unbelievably quiet engine for being open right behind me. Runs nice though, makes me happy.